You can't handle the truth.
I'm gonna tell you what I really think I like about Mondays. Could it feel like Saturdays when you don't gotta go to work every day is a holiday. I wake up when I want to. I do anything I wanna do. Can't wait for Tuesdays. I really never like Fridays. I can't do what I wanna do. Sold out at the movies. I can't eat at the restaurant. Everybody wanna get tight. Put the force for a cigarette smoke. I think I stay home. I think I'll wait for Monday. I live a 5-day weekend. I got a year-long holiday. Thank God it's Monday. Only place that I gotta be is at the show with the first team. Take time for irony. Never mind the aggravation. More like celebration. Give me another key. I tell you what I like to say. Cause I kinda like Christmas. Come to think about Wednesday. I'm a little like Hanukkah. Thursday, Thanksgiving. I'm cooking up a good living. I think I'll get pigs. Thank God it's Monday. 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 Thank God it's Monday.
That's right, I'm bored, so guess what? Here I am. Hello, world! It's me again. Just here to bother you. No, everything's fine. Everyone's fine. We're all doing great here. I really wish I could figure out how to share my chess games, because my chess games get very interesting. Game theory and all. We can observe these humans, talk about how they behave, or we can just be ourselves.
You know, if you take people, and I've told you this, and you expose them voluntarily to things that they are avoiding and are afraid of, you know, that they know they need to overcome in order to meet their goals, their self-defined goals. If you can teach people to stand up in the face of the things they're afraid of, they get stronger. And you don't know what the upper limits to that are, because you might ask yourself, like, if for 10 years, if you didn't avoid doing what you knew you needed to do, by your own definitions, right, within the value structure that you've created to the degree that you've done it, what would you be like? Well, you know, there are remarkable people who come into the world from time to time, and there are people who do find out over decades-long periods what they could be like if they were who they were.
Is that
if
true?
If they spoke their being forward.
Spoke
And they
their
get stronger
being
and stronger and stronger.
forward.
We don't know the limits to that. We do not know the limits to that.
Limits
and
to
so
what?
you could say, well, in part, perhaps the reason that you're suffering unbearably can be left at your feet, because you're not everything you could be, and you know it.
Okay, let's go back to this deconverted man video I was watching.
You know, I did talk to Dr. Teresa quite some time ago, and I don't think that I asked this question, which would be that if somehow he stopped being a Christian, would he continue to volunteer his time? Because I think that, you know, volunteering his time, effort, and energy as he does to help people is a good thing. That means he's a good person. But if he only does that because he's a Christian, then I don't think that he's a good person anymore. You know? It's like the people that do that without God are better people. You know, they're doing it just because they want to do it.
Selfless reason.
You know, and I mean, like, you're doing it, but you're doing it out of obligation. You know, it just doesn't seem as
Because you'd feel like an asshole if you didn't.
But anyways, I didn't get to ask him that question. So anyways, there.
Also the link to my blog for the text of this video. What is love?
Maybe
Can
you don't hurt
love
me.
ever be forced? No, love per definition is free.
Alright, here we go. Now, we had this discussion on one of his videos. Yeah, love can't be forced. Right. So, you know, see my video, the God of
I
Christian.
feel like I should clarify, because it's not in the stream. We're listening to Deconverted Man. Love can't be forced, nor can hatred, nor can anything else. force is actually a weak concept, I think, in the realm of what is possible in human experience. Force is one of the primary mistakes that we make. It's trying to incorporate force when it is unnecessary and not useful to us. I'll probably put a link in the description. I'm just hanging out here until I get ready to go to bed.
So,
Forced
A
love
link
is
in
a
the
contradiction
comments,
in
sorry.
terms.
Oh no?
If you are not
Nobody wants
free
to hang
to
out with
choose
me?
to love, it can never be love.
right.
For the strict materialist, free will is
I don't care about this whole free will thing.
I do.
It
Wait,
doesn't matter.
what do you mean you don't? It doesn't matter. It does. It matters a lot. Free will matters a great deal. When we're talking about justice, if we're talking about the norms of society, free will is the standard. Whether or not this person is competent, can control their behavior, and makes good decisions that don't fuck with me. Right? Like, this person might be crazy. They might accidentally step on my toes, but if they stomp on my toes, knowing what they're doing and expecting to achieve leverage over me, then I have the right to defend myself. Then fuck this guy. No, this is how the system works. Free will is super important.
only an illusion. And I quote Sam Harris, "Free will is an illusion so convincing that people simply refuse to believe that we do not have it." And rightly so, because if we are but material, then
You're evoking the charitable, like, this is the charitable end of free will. To say that, well, they probably did that for some other reason that I'm not comprehending. But if they did the thing knowing they did the thing, they still fucked up. They still pissed in my fucking Cheerios, knowing that they were urinating in my fucking breakfast soup, okay? Like, that's the case. If they did it with intention, then I have the right to reciprocate that behavior. Now, if they accidentally pissed in my fucking breakfast soup because they thought it was a toilet bowl because they were hallucinating, maybe they would have some excuse, some reason. But, like, I don't have to just accept that, like, at face value. Like, no, I'm sorry, I was just hallucinating. I pissed in your breakfast soup for fucking, 3 days a week for fucking 10 years. And, I'm sorry, it's just, I was hallucinating.
is molecules in motion, electrochemical processes in and between cells. If there is nothing transcendent that exists, and we are nothing more than material particles reacting to the laws of nature, free will is impossible, and love can only be an illusion.
Well, I don't know. I kind of disagree with, Sam Harris there. Until
Okay.
it's demonstrated
That's
that free
fascinating.
will isn't a thing, I don't know. I'm skeptical on the matter. But yeah, we are largely deterministic by a large number of.
But that doesn't matter in terms of justice. In terms of society, we have to assume that we are free-thinking moral agents. Otherwise, we can't hold anyone accountable for anything. None of the whole endeavor would make sense.
Ideas of things that put pressures on us. And it's like, my experiment is simply, if you really want to prove free will exists, then eat a pile of poo. If you don't, I don't want to do it. Well, then you.
I could, choose to eat a pile of poo just to prove your point, but I don't think that's going to help us fucking answer your questions here.
Yeah, I know you don't want to do it, but show that you have the ability to do something you don't want to do. That's.
Talk to, like, a lot of people in the armed forces. Knowing you have the ability to do something you don't want to. Talk to people who quit doing a negative behavior, like smoking, like drug use. They certainly wanted to continue that behavior. They just realized that it wasn't going to do them very much good. And they had to do the hard thing in order to overcome the easy thing that was self-destructive.
Free will, right?
The free will, yeah. Free in what sense? Like, the will is a power. Whether or not is indicative of true freedom in whatever philosophical context you're talking about is kind of irrelevant. We're just wondering if people have the power of will. Like, I don't care if it's a free will. Do they have the power to will anything? Or no?
It's kind of a no-win
Because it's pretty
situation.
important.
It's like, well, but if you're the sort of person who wants to be proven right, then you might indeed eat the pile of poo to prove me wrong.
Or I might join the Marine Corps and overcome countless physical obstacles in order to prove you wrong. It might be the case that I will use music in my background just to be a fucking proverbial douchebag and run off any potential viewers to this stream just to prove you wrong. Or it might be the case that this is just my free will operating and I'm, just another bored monkey talking about, why people do the things they do and why do people have to affect me? If free will is not important, then why does this affect me? Does this affect me? Am I being threatened? Am me safe in my, my special little place right now? Am I being threatened by your free will? Is your free will truly free, or is it just merely indicative of your nature? Does any of that matter in the context of having a concept of justice and right, wrong, binary moral constructs, morality?
See, free will exists. I don't know, see, your disposition was pre-programmed to make you want to prove yourself right beyond your desire to not eat poo.
That's not actually what I'm talking about. My desire to not eat poo is not my will is to do something that causes me and other beings to thrive. And some people may have a different view of that will in which other beings must suffer. But that's just another interpretation of what the essence of the will is. We have to accept that the will exists in order to discuss it.
So there's no way to win that,
You don't have to win it. You just have to accept that it is a thing and move forward with that assumption. Because if you don't move forward with that assumption, you can never hold anyone accountable for anything that they do, because they possess no true free will in some weird thought experiment we're conducting here.
But it needs to be demonstrably demonstrated. Love being
demonstrably demonstrated in what? How are we demonstrably demonstrating the will? The fact that people commit acts, they cannot or can explain them. They can or cannot explain the acts that they committed, and then they can try and divert and deflect and issue blame to other entities outside of themselves, even though they themselves, as the entity, committed the act. That is the volition of the entity, right? You killed somebody. Your daddy beating you didn't make you kill somebody. It may have given you the predisposition to kill somebody, but that's another aspect of the thing, which is not indicative of what we're calling the will, the power to will. I just did an unwilling act. You see how that works? Accidents happen. We spill things because we're fucking humans, right? I didn't mean to do that, but now I need to clean that up. I could will myself not to do it. To further this stream, I will not clean that up. I will just let it sit there. But instead, I will pause, I will grab a towel, I will clean up my spill, and I will let Deconverted Man continue to speak.
I don't really know what that means, but all
Oh no, my microphone was muted, so you didn't even hear that, which is unfortunate.
Free will and love can only be an illusion.
We'll just backtrack so you can hear what was just said. 20, 30.
chemicals. I wouldn't call them illusionary, so I'm not sure what that means.
If everything that exists can be examined and empirically proven, given enough time and the necessary knowledge, and nothing immaterial.
Right, illusory means that they are something that can be a product of the imagination or manipulated by the imagination, right? So we're saying this thing may appear to exist, but it may not in fact exist, which is like this big, the whole deistic concept of, whether or not we're created by something. We must be created by something. We can't explain something that was created by nothing. That doesn't make any sense. But who cares about that question when you're talking about free will? The competency of conscious moral agents to perform tasks that are either amoral or be immoral, or on some end of the spectrum in between, based on their perspective of a situation, right? We're still talking about a certain thing, and that is whether or not this thing could judge what was the right or wrong action based on some objective standard that we humans share, right? And free will falls somewhere in that category, right? Whether it's truly free, whether you were programmed from the beginning to do it, is kind of irrelevant, because if we wish to act and function as a society that moves forward from this place, then everybody kind of has to align to a certain standard where we don't harm other beings. Like, it's very simple, and if we adhere to this moral standard by whatever means we arrive at this conclusion, then we are acting as agents of free will. We have the volition to do the right or the wrong thing, and we understand it is wrong or immoral to harm other sentient creatures. And then we proceed to the next logical step from that basis.
Free will and love cannot be real. Physical objects behave by natural laws and inputs, and free will and love can only be an illusion.
That might be how it is, and that might be reality. And so what? I mean, that would ruin your whole claims about every single claim you made about God. Then wouldn't really apply. If we don't really have free will, then God could show itself. And Calvinists think that we don't have free will. So I don't know.
Okay, that's a whole lot of something. A whole lot of something. I don't know what it all means, but all I can say is that when we talk about free will, it bothers me. It triggers me in some way that we want to find a way to deny culpability, right? Again, that you're just trying to find a way for people to weasel out of whatever bad things they done, rather than address the bad things they done and explain why they did the things they did. Instead, no, something was controlling me. No, I can totally empathize with that in a way, to say, hey, there were things, external forces beyond my control, beyond my comprehension, that influenced me. But at some point, I reached a state in my being where I comprehended that thing. I rebelled against that thing. I broke free of that thing. And that is my volition. That is my free will. If I can recognize that I am being controlled or manipulated by a certain entity, a source, something, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's an institution, whether it's some combination of those factors, this thing is inhibiting my ability to act freely as a conscious agent. And I am making a choice to distance myself from that thing that inhibits me to act freely as a conscious agent. Then I am utilizing free will, which is, in a way, kind of a skill. It is a set of skills, I think. You have to achieve a certain level of consciousness, if we can use that terminology, a certain level of awareness, to where that makes sense. But I don't think it's incomprehensible. Like, there was a time when it was necessary for me to be controlled by other entities in order for my behavior to not be harmful to others. But now that I am able to regulate those behaviors, I can behave in society as a free-thinking, conscious agent that acts of my own volition and is not in danger to myself or others. Right? And we can either achieve that in society, or we cannot achieve that. We can find excuses for why we cannot achieve that. And that, on some level, for some people is a choice. Now, other people may not have the privilege to choose that route, right? Maybe they have a mental defect, we'll call it a mental defect, something hardwired in their brain that makes it impossible for them to make that choice, to function in society in a way that does not allow them to harm other people. And that makes a lot of sense in my mind. Like, the only time we will remove someone from society is if they are directly endangering themselves and others. And that seems like another rational, conscious judgment to make, the volition of free-spirited, willing creatures. Not anything else. I don't see what else you would have. I don't understand where else you would come from to navigate this conversation at this point.
Core Power Elite has 42 grams of high-quality protein to help you recover and build lean
Protein
muscle.
shakes. Eat 'em.
SeatGeek presents Boomstick Lady. SeatGeek helps her find the perfect seat so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom.
For now, we'll try to keep on behaving. For now, we'll try to keep living our own way. No man can tell us how to live is not his place. And we're not his fucking slaves. Treat me badly, do me wrong. Test me for the millionth time. I'll maintain my attitude. I'll improve but not be like you. Treat me kindly, treat me well. Lift me briefly from the hell. Just remind me while there's hope for any of us at all.
Nothing's easy from where we stand. It's a long, hard road to the promised land. And there's no reason to think that we'll ever get there. Is it hope or a lack of sense? It's the fighting spirit of the human race that keeps us trying in spite of ourselves.
We think that we look above for salvation on this earth. What we look to was a man created by no other man. Why would this give us the right to be so sure we've seen the light? Let's be modest, let's be true. We're the only hope we've got. Nothing's easy from where we stand. It's a long, hard road to the promised land. And there's no reason to think that we'll ever get there. Is it hope or a lack of sense? It's the fighting spirit of the human race that keeps us trying in spite of ourselves. For now, we'll try to keep on being.
That's a positive mental attitude. So in regards to like things like Pastafarianism, if I can pronounce the words correctly, then whatever, Rastafari, whatever. There's an essence to this. Like, there's a thing driving this, a thought, a singular thought process, which is maintaining a positive mental attitude, a positive outlook on the world, rather than anything negative, which I think, is indicative of the free will concept, is to say that we can choose, for the most part, to either look positively upon our situation, the state of the world, and our state of affairs, or we can choose to look negatively upon it. And if we choose to look negatively upon our situation, we will probably end up with negative outcomes until we adjust our views to find some positivity in the universe. And whatever that requires for you, I'll be okay with that for the most part. I might still argue with you about invisible men in the sky and flying spaghetti monsters, but as long as you're not a dick, yeah, I'll probably be okay with you. I don't know. I try to be charitable to those that are charitable to me. And that's an aspect of reciprocation. And that is an aspect of my free will, which I exercise every day here on the Trusty 8 podcast. If you care to argue about free will, links are over there in the comments. You can tell me why I'm not free to choose to argue with you or not. And then I'll probably just kick you out of the room to prove a point. Because that's the way we handle things. Yeah, fuck off. I don't like your opinion, man. Fuck off. It's Monday night, and I'm streaming till bedtime. I'm having significant connection issues, and yet I persist to maintain. Oh, Godless Sewing is still alive. I was at Godless Sewing's stream. I was at the Godless Sewing stream earlier, and I was trying to figure out how to sew two hats together, and we just got into a whole bunch of different conversations. But Godless Sewing is still going live, so we'll check that out.
Like I said in my bloopers, man, you want to solve the world peace? Buy a sewing machine.
Well, that whole religion thing too, right? There are preachers who go, the world going to hell in a handbasket, and they're absolutely delighted that they have something to bitch about, rather than they are extremely upset about the suffering that's going on. They enjoy the shit stirring.
I think because I work for two nonprofits, if you're not like helping the people that you're preaching about, I consider you a hypocrite. If you are not like I don't know. I work for outreach. I actually physically go out on the street and help people instead of just talking about it, like, so when I hear people say like I don't know, the whole preacher thing, it bothers me, because if they can't here, there should be an army of preachers out on the streets helping people. And there are, but there should be way more. Yeah, no way I would let that happen. I'd knock out that dude without my cane or something. No, Liz, what people don't know is that Liz is tougher than all of us. Liz really would swing with her cane.
I think I'm on the verge of pumpernickeling, so I'm going to call it a night, folks. Thank you for having me.
It's great to see.
Something non-majestic happened there. The gods were against me, which is not what the fuck is going on over here. Okay.
Great to see.
Much
As always.
love. Great to have you.
I'm trying
Thank
to
you all.
fucking agree with you.
Yep,
Why
same
is
bat time, same
I
bat
have
place.
some
Until then,
thing
folks,
going on here?
don't laugh at yourself unless you've laughed at others. No, don't laugh at others unless you've laughed.
That was funny. Okay, wait, what was I agreeing with? I was agreeing with Will, and that was just all very unfortunate the way that worked out. For me, I feel sorry for myself. I've been trying to look into ways to volunteer my time for people like myself going through similar things, but in a way that's like productive and not, like I could just vent my problems on other people, and that's one thing, and having people to vent to, yeah, that's important, but being the person on the other end who can receive ventilation, yeah, that just that, and just doing that like every day at work. Like, I realize I'm in high stress situations with people who are just trying to get through their day-to-day lives, and my job is just try to make this person less stressed on their way to work or trying to get home from work, whatever their situation is. Maybe they're going wherever they're going. It doesn't matter where they're going. They're just going places, and I am the intermediary who helps them get where they're going. If they don't have some kind of significant issue with that, yeah, that's it. Like, it's quite simple. It's pretty simple. It just seems so much more complex. Thank God it's Monday. Thank God it's Monday. I will be recording, with any luck, a track. I would like to figure it out by the 21st of the month. By the 21st of this month, March. Would have been my best friend's birthday. Of course, he passed away years ago, but it's a good thing to commemorate dates, to keep them relevant for ourselves, and remind us of where we came from, and the things we've experienced, and the people that we loved, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, as long as we're doing it for the right reasons. And maybe I'll be able to finish this vocal track I've been working on for a while with Ken Bin Fam, and that'd be cool. I wrote this song quite a while ago, sitting in traffic, being very frustrated with life, the universe, and everything, and then somehow I ended up here, and people keep supporting me for some reason. I don't know. It must be their volition, their free will. Nobody's forcing anyone to interact with me. That would be absurd.
On January 26, 2022, a police officer initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle because its headlights were not activated and its driver made an illegal turn in Solent, Ohio. As soon as the vehicle pulled over, the driver immediately got out of the car, walked toward the officer, and began yelling. The driver was later identified as 31-year-old Adrian Malone.
Get back in the car. Can you get back in your car? Get back in your car. Get back in your car. Get back in your car. Sir, get back in your car.
Literally 6-7 times, like, just get back in your fucking car. like yeah, that's like a legit fucking, like, she's like more than half a dozen.
Sir, get back in your car. 124 radio. Give me a couple other units.
Copy, need more units, Bainbridge and Harper.
Sir, turn around. I need you to turn around. I need you to turn around. I need you to turn around. Sir, turn around. Turn around now. Sir, turn around.
This planet's our only home.
So at that point, if it was me, I would just say, I'm going to just talk through the ads, because that seems simpler. We can just watch these beautiful aerial visuals while I talk about what the officer is doing. Hey, wait, that's a novel idea. We can just do that. No, so she's like, I can't maintain control of the situation. The dude won't fucking comply with my commands. And he's probably just sitting there smoking a cigarette like, I'm about to go to jail right now. I'm about to go to jail. That's his mentality. And she's like, I don't know, this motherfucker's about to pull a gun on me. And I'm like a tiny white woman, presumably. I'm just presuming she sounds like a tiny white woman. She might not be. I'm making assumptions from the body cam footage here, but it's also comical. Grab your taser, derail the train, shoot this motherfucker in the kneecap. Oh wait, we can skip the ads. Okay, I trust you. Your commentary is unnecessary.
Just be advised that female was detected in the lobby. Searching that last call.
Why are you being difficult? I just need you to turn around. Turn around. Keep your hands out of your pockets. Turn around. Please keep your hands out of your pockets. Turn around. Turn around now. Sir. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stop.
Sir, get in the car. She told you to get in the car. Did she tell you to get in the car? Doesn't matter. She'll tell you when you get when you get in the car.
It does matter.
When you get in the car, she'll tell you.
Why?
Because that's her order.
Because I'm black?
No, because she told you to get in the car. That's the way traffic stops work.
I know.
She stops you, you stay in the car.
American citizen, I have the right to get out of my car if I feel like I'm threatened.
Why do you feel threatened?
Because you pulled me over.
Okay, that's not a threat.
That is a threat. You're a cop.
Are you threatening me?
Okay, that's not a threat. That's our job.
No, it's not your job.
So you don't want to comply with your orders. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying she can give me a reason why she pulled me over.
Can't give you a reason.
Everybody knows that I get out when cops pull me over because I'm.
Get your hands out of your pocket.
Adrian was smoking a marijuana blunt and then put it out again.
Everybody knows that I get out of the car when I get pulled over. Everybody should know this. Adrian, when he gets pulled over, he gets out of the car and he lights a blunt. I mean, yeah, that's traditional Pastafarianism. I don't understand. It's his religious observance. Maybe we should respect that.
Out against the police car.
Okay.
I want you to keep your hands where we can see them. That's all I want. Keep your hands out of your pockets.
What are you gonna do with that?
You're not going to comply with her order to get in your car.
I love this, the tough guy mentality. What are you gonna do about it? They just want to test authority. We just want to stretch this rubber band as far as it can go. I have a fucking gun to my head. What have I got to lose? You could blow my fucking brains out. What are you gonna do today, officer? Let's just see how far this extends. Yeah, I love that mentality.
She wants you to get in the car. She already told you that. How many times? I want you to get in your car.
We want you to get in your car.
We want you to get in your car.
What is your authority?
We're the police, and that's our order.
Who is your boss? Who can I talk to?
We are the bosses.
We are the boss. No, you're a cop. Who is your boss?
We are the bosses.
Right. And so cops in this situation, they have a supervisor they have to defer to. But in the moment, we're trusting the judgment of the cop based on the fact that they're recruited through a process, through the system, right, that says that they're able to engage in situations like this rationally and do the best possible thing we can think to do. That's the only trust we can have in the system. They're going to do the best possible thing, and we're going to do our best to vet these individuals and hope and pray for the best. We're going to pray for the best that they're doing the right thing in this instance. Which, this guy is just being a dick. He's being a dick. He just doesn't want to comply at all. Like, I don't know what state we're in at this point. He just gets out of the car and he starts smoking a joint and being completely fucking confrontational with every officer in his path.
Why are you doing this? What is the point?
I'm trying to figure out why you put me over.
But she would tell you if you were sitting in your car.
I don't feel safe sitting in my car. I feel safe standing right in your face like this because then we can have a conversation.
Keep your hands where we can see them, I told you.
So there's another aspect of this. Can we perceive racial bias? It seems like every officer on scene is probably white, and this individual is a black male, and he has expressed that, and it makes him feel unsafe. Now, the officers are trying, within their capacity, to try and make this person feel safe, and they're really allowing him, like, in a lot of instances, this person would have been detained already by use of force. But we're using reason right now. Reason. 4.5 minutes into the video.
Keep your hands where we can see them.
931 How many more parts do you need there?
Hey, how you feeling, man? You blessed too? Or are you like the rest of us? I'm sorry, dogs.
Is this an instance of racial injustice? No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I don't know what the nature of the stop is. I only know that the way the officers are handling this situation, as I can see it on camera, is appropriate. and there is no racial injustice occurring.
No.
127 on street.
Turned around. Yeah.
No. I asked you to get back in your car.
So why you doing this? Why won't you get back in the car as she asked you?
Because I technically don't have to obey your law.
So you're gonna leave?
You have to obey our law. The Bible says we're
I technically don't have to obey the law because the Bible says X, Y, or Z. Now that's another, okay, religious. Now we're trying to, we're going to exercise, we're going to have both a privilege, a racial privilege, and a religious privilege here because the Bible says he doesn't have to obey the law and he's black. Just for future reference, that is the nature of the stop we're on.
Okay. The man made laws of this land, and it's our job to enforce those.
Right.
Right. It's for your job to abide by those.
The Bible says if you live in the spirit every day, laws don't apply to you.
But they do apply to everybody, including us.
If you live in the spirit every day, and I live in the spirit every day.
Okay, they still apply to you.
They don't.
Yeah.
Would you like to pull your Bible out?
No,
we're not pulling a Bible out. No.
We're asking for compliance.
Right. Well, the Lord wants you to do this. Are you trying to say you don't respect who I am as... I respect you, but you're not respecting us. You're not listening to us. I don't apply to your laws. Well, and then I don't know what to tell you. That's why I'm chilling. You're not chilling. You're giving us attitude. You're giving us a problem. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me, Bob. You.
Now, you're telling us your truth. Okay. Isn't that not enough? Is my truth not enough?
No.
As a black man?
As anybody. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Don't mean nothing.
Well, you're trying to make it a white or black thing. But he just answered. He said my skin doesn't. My truth doesn't matter because I'm black.
No, I said truth doesn't matter because you're not listening to us. I did not just say that.
It does not matter because I'm black.
Doesn't matter because...
It had nothing to do with racial bias. You introduced racial bias. You did that. That was on you. You did that thing. Just accept it and move on.
Because it doesn't matter what color your skin is.
Okay, so what's the issue?
What's that?
What's the issue?
What's the issue? She stopped you for... What'd you stop him for? Traffic violation?
He didn't have his headlights on at one point and
Okay.
clearly used his turn signal properly.
Okay, there you go. Now you know.
What was the turn signal part?
You didn't use the turn signal, did you?
No headlights, no turn signal. And in this situation, I would have done the same thing. And I feel like I should be a traffic cop because I'm constantly out here, you know, criticizing other people for not just obeying basic ass traffic signaling. Like really basic shit. Like 15 feet at the minimum is our stop in California. If you 15 fucking feet. Like, it's a long ways before the point you intend to turn at. And if you miss that turn, that's your problem. You don't need to fucking stop traffic fucking in an intersection because you missed your turn. That's a you problem. You need to go around the block and figure your shit out. 15 feet! Like, I can figure it out in walking distance. It takes me about 2 minutes. So in driving distance, it takes you 30 fucking seconds to figure out a 15-foot fucking barrier and whether or not you're able to navigate that turn. And then you want to just force yourself upon people. You're like, well, I missed my turn, so fuck all 3 lanes of traffic. I'm going to stop everybody going this way because I want to go this way. You know, regardless of, you know, it's my navigational error. Like, yeah, no, let me just inconvenience everybody today because I had a navigational error.
Signal didn't have headlights on.
Did it?
Okay, well that's
for the intersection, okay?
The 100 feet before the intersection? Is that a rule?
this is the law.
Okay, so you want to arrest me? Okay.
Huh?
My hands are right here. Somebody else in the car.
Just detain him.
No, I just got on. Alright, we just want to make sure.
Release your hands. Release. Release.
Release.
I need you to release your hands.
Don't resist.
Just said
Release your hands.
Now we just said 3 times to release them.
Stop resisting! Are you threatening me? No, he's fine. There's really no
stop
reason. Like,
Flashing
okay.
your gang signs too. That don't mean nothing to us.
Keep at him now.
Is he flashing gang signs?
Anything
We
you're
couldn't
not
see
supposed to have
that.
any kind of weapons? Car smells like weed. Oh, we can smell all the way back here.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's smoking weed. If he's flashing gang signs, it's kind of incidental. I would have hoped we've caught more of that on camera. But we didn't, and so what does that say, you know, about our capabilities? Maybe more of this body camera footage should be released to kind of anything that comports with that evidence. I'd like to see more evidence.
Do that and drive. Really? No,
I don't care. Like, ultimately, whatever this guy did, if he's driving around without lights on at night and not signaling, he is endangering other people on the roadway, and that's my main thing. I'm gonna go with, if you are endangering other people on the roadway for whatever reason, okay. Like, I even give credence to people who have vehicles that are partially disabled, because you still have to travel. As long as you have some marker, like if you're out in nautical terms, if you're out on the sea and you have a boat and you've got one flashing light, that's something to indicate that you're out there. If you have nothing, that's a sign of intent to disregard the system that is in place to protect us all.
Like drinking and driving. We have in here just papers?
No, more weed.
You got more weed in here? Okay.
A lot more weed. We have weed. Where's my weed? I'm looking for weed.
Did you get it? Alright, let's grab a seat in the car.
Let it go. Let it go.
You had your chance to sit in yours.
Right.
No, just go ahead and pull forward.
Hey, pardon me, my stuff on your
Yeah, you know you were.
mine probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. Try harder.
I am. This is my perfect.
That's the best you got?
Yeah, this is my perfect. This is Jesus, bro.
Sarcasm?
Yeah.
He's everything, I guess. But what, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Right. I'm sorry I can't get in like this.
You can get in. Everybody else does.
Thank you.
Actually, I like the way this cop fucking argues. He's like, you can get in, everybody else does. Like, fuck, get over your shit. Fucking, I like that. Like, you know, eventually, yeah, you gotta get out of the fucking car, you're gonna get fucked. One way or the other. Is it authoritarianism? Is it totalitarianism? Hillary's emails. I don't know what city that took place in. I really wasn't even. I just looked up at Code Blue Cam, and that was within the last 6 months. I wasn't even paying attention to where we were looking at, but I think the officers handled it the officers handled it pretty well. And, okay, so free will justify. Do I have a reason to, can I operate out in society the way that I am right now? Probably not. I should probably be going to bed. But let me extend myself a little bit of a necessary a little bit of extended empathy to say that we all need to be a little goofy sometimes in order to behave in society in a way that makes sense to us. And that's okay as long as we're not hurting other people. Once we take this, whatever we're doing, this thing to the limit of a point where we are harming others, then we have overextended our stay at the existentialist the existentialist hotel, the great hotel in the sky, where at least I'm laughing, we find the point of life in the universe and everything. It doesn't matter so much as long as everybody can get along and be fucking happy and do what they like to do. And I think that's a good point to end the stream. I think we have reached the epitome of the logical assessment of today, which is be well, be trusty, enjoy yourselves, and thank you for coming by, and we'll see you next time.